To some extent, you have to ask yourself which problem you want to solve: the problem of cannabis addiction or the problems and challenges you may face in sobriety. In today's video, that's exactly what we're going to discuss, hopefully to help you come to a reasonable conclusion. If you're new to the channel, my name's Dr. Frank. I'm the founder of AddictionMindset Recovery Coaching, and I have the sole goal of making sobriety accessible to everyone. If that's something that you need help with, be sure to check out the link in the pinned comment and video description at the end of today's video. So when it comes to quitting substances, and I say this as someone who deeply struggled with various substance use disorders to nicotine, cannabis, stimulants, energy drinks, adult media content for many years, you have to decide which problems is it that you want to solve, that you want to face. Because both addiction and sobriety are going to come with their own set of individual problems. Now, let's start with the problems one may face when they initially quit smoking weed in sobriety. We could have the problems of physical or psychological withdrawal and physical or psychological dependence that occur when we quit consuming cannabis. For example, cravings, anxiety. We could have irritability. We could have insomnia. We could maybe have a struggle when it comes to socialization, because how we socialized with our friends or our significant other when they would consume cannabis, and now we don't consume it anymore. So socialization is a problem. Insomnia, cravings, those are really common withdrawal symptoms that people face. Would you rather face those problems and come up with solutions in regard to sobriety, or would you continue to rather face the problems that one typically struggles with in addiction? Damaged relationships, damaged physical health, damaged mental health, damaged financial health. Maybe it's damaging your energy. Maybe it's damaging your motivation. Maybe it's damaging your side hustle or your current career or business. Those are problems that result in many cases directly from drug consumption. In today's video, we're talking about cannabis, but this could be alcohol, fentanyl, it could be tobacco, it could be nicotine, it could be stimulants, it could be energy drinks. Any substance use disorder, the abuse of any substance, leads to problems. And those problems aren't so much the derivative of the drug itself, but they are the outcomes of having a substance use disorder and how that disorder can impact a person's life. So when you're sitting down thinking that getting sober is overwhelming and that you're not able to face the problems that you believe exist, maybe it's you don't have good support, maybe it's a lack of accountability, maybe it is insomnia and cravings and irritability that you're trying to manage, you have to ask yourself, which problems would I rather try and solve? These ones, needing community support, needing accountability, trying to figure out how to get over cravings, trying to figure out how to manage the insomnia? Or would I rather face the ongoing problems and try and manage the problems that are resulting from addiction, no matter how big or how small those may be for you? Because you have to choose eventually. Once you have that thought of, I want to get sober, I should say, you eventually have to choose. And for me, managing the problems that I was facing in sobriety and getting sober seemed way more manageable than continuing to manage the problems that I was trying to in addiction. Because not only in addiction are you trying to manage the problems that it's creating, but you physically have a drug working against you, potentially working against your physical health, your energy, your mental health, your decision making when it comes to solving those problems. At least in sobriety, you're working towards, hopefully, other healthy attributes, other healthy traits, other healthy habits that can put you in a better place to make decisions and work through problems. You know, the way I see it is saying I'm going to choose and work through the problem of addiction is like throwing someone in a hole, a 10-foot hole with no hammer, no rope, no pick to crawl out of the hole, and no support. That's what that seems like to me. That's what trying to solve those problems looks like. Trying to solve the problems of sobriety, yeah, you might be in a 10-foot hole, but hey, maybe there's a support dropping down some rope for you. Maybe you got like a little rock climbing pick in your bag and some water to keep you hydrated for the climb up. At least in sobriety, you're working on tools to work through your problems, which, in my opinion, is going to make you much more successful at solving those problems. In addiction, we're choosing to try and solve problems without the tools to actually solve them. And by the way, it just might so be that the thing, i.e. cannabis, that's responsible for causing some of those problems, we're trying to use that as the solution to it. It's never going to work. It's never going to work. And this becomes the cycle of addiction and substance use that people find themselves in. So ask yourself, what problems are you more likely to solve? What problems can you get more motivated and more excited about solving? Which problems are going to lead to better long-term outcomes for you in life if you choose to solve them and face them and go through all of that stuff? That's what I would ask yourself. And I want to say a very important disclaimer in here. I think sometimes people are facing life problems in sobriety that were the result of cannabis addiction and smoking weed that just seems so overwhelming to take on and fix because so much has been damaged, okay? And what winds up happening is they do this exercise with me and they say, you know what? I'm actually less overwhelmed feeling by continuing to manage my addiction and continuing to work on that. Like, as in, I don't want to face the cravings. I don't want to face the withdrawal. I don't want to face life sober because of all the problems that addiction has created for me. And I would actually rather stay addicted because I've been doing that for 9-10 years. And at least I know how to manage that. And I don't know how to manage these other things. I don't know how to manage these other problems. Right? So they'd rather stay addicted and continue to create a world of problems because at least they're comfortable doing it. This is where I talk about addiction, especially with cannabis. And I say it puts you in the most uncomfortable of comfort zones. And it's a horrible feeling. It's a horrible feeling to be stuck in a place that you're comfortable in because you're forced to be there because you feel you might be incapable of managing the other stuff. That's an uncomfortable comfort zone. And I see that. And I would just, if that's you, I would say, one, call it out and assess that and see what that's all about. And two, realize that like what you're doing, the problems you're trying to continually manage in addiction and stuff, I promise you, it's probably a lot harder than the other thing. You just might not see that because you might be under the delusion or the illusion of this substance, i.e. cannabis in the case of today's video. So I hope that helps you out, guys. At the end of today, you should walk away from this saying, what set of problems do I want to deal with the rest of my life? Problems that I create for myself, i.e. which are problems that we face in sobriety, and maybe it's building a business. Maybe it's keeping that really healthy marriage. Maybe it's having kids and learning how to manage a family. Maybe that's a problem you create for yourself. Or is it on the other end? Do you want to continually keep trying to manage the problems that are directly resulting from substance use to cannabis or alcohol or whatever the drug is that you're taking? You could really talk about any drug in this video. All right, if you need help with that stuff, we got a free 7-step guide to quitting and the link in the pinned comment in the video description. We have some newer updated guides that I've just released as well. We have one-on-one coaching, and then we have our school community, $27 a month to join that community. You can cancel anytime. It's a group coaching community. We have a free 7-day trial. And then certainly last but not least is our supplements. Kick It, Crave Less Chewing Gum. It's a chewing gum designed with KSM-66 ashwagandha and N-acetylcysteine to help reduce stress and reduce cravings associated with cannabis, nicotine, stimulants, alcohol, sugar even. So if you chew gum and you're looking for a functional chewing gum that actually serves a purpose, learn about that below right here on YouTube Shopping or with the links in the pinned comment. Until next time.